Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NewsNation Prime. I'm Hannah Doba. It's a 60-day sprint for American and Iranian negotiators to reach a full agreement to end the war. Tonight, it's a tale of two strategies. President Trump threatening Iran, while Vice President JD Vance remains in marathon meetings with the Iranian delegation. Some of the topics discussed: the nuclear deal, the Strait of Hormuz, enforcing the ceasefire in southern Lebanon. Vance had this to say earlier today before the talks officially got underway.
What today really represents is the beginning of a technical negotiation that's not going to solve every disagreement, but is going to allow us to sit together as teams for the first time really in history to figure out what matters most to the respective parties, to settle those issues, to solve those issues, and get to a better tomorrow.
Now, while talks continue, President Trump is issuing a warning to Iran, posting this on Truth Social, that he will, quote, hit them very hard again if they don't stop their proxies from causing trouble in Lebanon. This all comes after clashes broke out between Israel and Hezbollah over the weekend, which prompted Iran to say it was closing the Strait of Hormuz. Well, this new round of verbal threats from both Iran and the commander-in-chief derailed talks in Switzerland. NewsNation's Hannah Brandt is live at the White House tonight with the details on these discussions. Hannah, I said this to you 24 hours ago. We're having the same discussion. This is fluid, and it keeps changing hour by hour.
Hannah, it absolutely does, and we're watching it closely. What we know at this point is that in Switzerland, negotiators are expected to work through the night. It's very late there right now, after midnight. And just a couple of hours into these talks, VP Vance told reporters they were making some good progress. So those talks still continuing so far as we know at this hour. A senior U.S. diplomat who's part of the discussions says one of the main topics inside of that room is the Strait of Hormuz, including what they referred to as building deconfliction mechanisms to try and ensure that the strait remains fully open. Also saying they're talking about enforcing the ceasefire in Lebanon. And of course, these two issues are connected because Israeli strikes in Lebanon prompted Iran to say they were closing down the strait, which prompted a lot of concern, of course, even as U.S. CENTCOM insisted that the strait remained open and that traffic was still passing through. That U.S. diplomat saying also negotiators are discussing all elements of the nuclear deal, noting, just as you heard the vice president say there, today is really just a starting point for these technical talks going forward, though the VP is presenting this as a real opportunity for change in the region.
The opening of the Strait of Hormuz, the ending of the Iranian nuclear program, all of these things have already been accomplished. The question before us now is how much more can we accomplish together? Can we turn over a new leaf? Can we change relations in the Middle East permanently? Or do we go back to doing things the old way, which is not our preference, but is certainly very much something that can happen.
And in a briefing to their media, Iranian members of the delegation said negotiators were also talking about the release of frozen Iranian assets and their country's oil exports, which, of course, you know, Hannah, has been very controversial parts of the agreement back here at home.
And I'm keeping an eye on oil prices. They're slightly trickling up as this news is coming down. Hannah, I think what's so odd here, even as all this is happening in Switzerland, President Trump and Iranian leaders are trading threats as negotiations continue.
You're right. It's a bit of a strange split screen that we're seeing happening because these negotiations are underway. And as they got underway, the vice president said they were going well. But at the same time, you had President Trump posting this threat to Iran on his Truth Social, saying they must immediately stop their highly paid proxies in Lebanon from causing trouble, warning if they don't, will hit Iran very hard. And Iran's parliament speaker shot right back in a post of his own, writing, "Don't they think to themselves, if their threats had any effect, they wouldn't have reached the point of desperation they are in today," saying they better be careful with their statements. Our armed forces are ready to respond. President Trump also telling Fox News in a phone interview earlier today he directly warned Iranian leaders about the strait, reportedly calling them overnight and saying, "You close it and you won't have a country," telling this Fox News reporter, "We may take over the strait if we have to. I'll blow the blank out of them." Also reiterating his idea that the U.S. may become what he refers to as the guardian angel of the strait, potentially taking a percentage of its oil and charging tolls as well, Hannah.
All right. I know you will continue to keep an eye on this. I'll check in with you in the next hour. Hannah Brandt live at the White House tonight. Hannah, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.